All right, guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about why tiny channels make more money than massive channels on YouTube. Because you've probably seen a bunch of YouTubers are quitting. You've probably seen YouTubers talking about how they don't make any money. And even though they have millions of subscribers, and the first thing you probably think is that's BS. They're lying. They don't make money. But I'm here to tell you, there are YouTubers that have millions of subscribers that are absolutely broke. There are tons of broke influencers out there. And I'm going to give a bunch of examples. I'm going to really break down everything and just show you like all kinds of different examples of channels that make a ton of money, channels that make no money, channels that have a ton of subscribers, channels that barely have any subscribers, and everything in between. At the end of this, I'm going to be talking about exactly why tiny channels in many cases actually make more money than the bigger channels. Let's go ahead and jump into the computer and we will talk about exactly why this is. So in this training, you're going to learn why focusing on small specific audience is better than trying to reach everyone. Okay? And one example of why this applies even outside of YouTube is if you just think of general practitioners versus brain surgeons, right? So general practitioners versus brain surgeons. So general practitioners generally help a lot of people a little bit. So just to kind of clarify this, you've got like a family doctor that's kind of a general practitioner. And then you've got a brain surgeon who is, someone who basically probably only works on maybe one or two people a day, something like that. But the people they're working on, they're probably in many cases actually saving their life. So a GP might see like 50 people a day, and a brain surgeon might see one or two people a day. So the GP is helping 50 people a little bit, and the brain surgeon is helping 1 to 2 people a lot. Like they're probably saving their life or something very similar to that, okay? And so this is basically the analogy that I'm using to describe why small channels in many cases actually make more money than big channels. And let's go over a few examples. So before we get into the channels that actually make money, let's talk about channels that don't. And so this is Boogie2988. This is a really well-known YouTuber who has, nearly 4 million subscribers. They're really well-known. I mean, pretty much everybody has talked about Boogie2988 at some point on the internet. You've probably seen him before. And he actually came out and he told everyone that he only makes about 4K, maybe 5K max per month. Okay, so he went on a podcast and he actually made several videos and went on several different podcasts and talked about this, how he only makes about 4 to 5K per month. So he's barely getting by when it comes to making money, even though he's got 4 million subscribers. To a lot of people, this was incredibly shocking. Now, to me, it wasn't shocking at all because I've done YouTube for a long time. I know the industry really well. I know a ton of different YouTubers. So it wasn't shocking to me at all that he was barely making any money. Now, one thing you might be thinking is, well, yeah, he's not making any money, but this is an entertainment channel, right? So he's making entertainment content, and so that explains why he's not making any money. That is true. Entertainment content, generally speaking, per viewer makes far, far less money than, say, education content, okay? So education content makes much more money than entertainment content. However, there are lots of mass market education channels that also don't make very much money. And by the way, him making $4,000 to $5,000 a month is less than the average American, which is pretty crazy. So let's talk about a few channels that make far, far more money than Boogie2988. So this is one channel right here. This is Serge Guattari. He has about 31.4K subscribers. He does make education content. So he's got the education content going. That's a check mark there. But the two other things that he does that are the real reasons why he makes money is not just the educational content, but it's the fact that he makes niche content, okay? This is a huge thing that is one of the big reasons why he makes money. So he is the brain surgeon. He's not the general practitioner. So he makes content where he talks about how to do a very specific type of business model called growth operator, okay, or a growth partner. And typically he is talking to agency owners and he's basically convincing agency owners that they need to stop doing their agency and instead become a growth partner or a growth operator. That is his niche. And the second thing that makes him make a ton of money is the fact that he sells high ticket. So instead of, again, talking to everyone, which is what a general practitioner would do, right? A general practitioner would talk to everyone. He only talks to a very specific type of person. And instead of doing something that helps someone just a little bit, where he maybe, just prescribes them something to take care of their headache or something like that. So just, just helps someone a little bit. He's doing brain surgeries, right? He's working with a far smaller amount of people and he's selling a high ticket product. So he's not able to work with a lot of people because of the fact that it's a high ticket product, and therefore it's going to take a lot of his time and effort. But also he's helping them tremendously because he's actually getting them results, and that's what you can do when you only work with a few people. Now, if you made a courses, don't get me wrong, courses can be great, but they don't usually get people results because of the fact that everyone's situation is different. But when you do coaching or you do some kind of service where you work very closely with someone, you're much more likely to get them results. So again, he is being the brain surgeon. He is not being the general practitioner. And that is why he makes about $600,000 a month while he only has about 30,000 subs, which is nuts. And if you think that's nuts, wait till you see the next one. Charlie Morgan. He's got about 147K subs. Looks like everything's black, but yeah, he's got 147K subs. And again, very similar. He does niche content and he sells high ticket, okay? Niche content, sells high ticket. His content is getting a little more mass market, okay? A little bit more general, kind of like the general practitioner, but he's still selling high ticket, which is really important. And so he does niche content, he's selling high ticket, so he's still kind of like let's call him a surgeon. He's not a brain surgeon, but he's a surgeon, right? He's still saving people's lives, basically. And he's making over $1 million a month, right? And that's with 145K subs. Pretty freaking ridiculous. He is absolutely crushing it. 145K subs, making $1 million a month. That is 200 times more. Yeah, 200 times more than Boogie 2988. He is making 200 times more money, and he has like 1/20th of the subs. So he's making 200 times more money, and he has 1/20th of the subs that Boogie 2988. I think even less than 1/20th, probably like 1/30th of the subs. Right? So tiny channel making 200 times more than the big channel. Okay, and then another one, this is Boyd Cluis. This one's even more ridiculous. This guy's an absolute beast. He has about 161K subs, and he teaches people how to get into cybersecurity. Oh, by the way, this guy basically teaches people how to get clients using I think he uses like a cold outreach Loom system, where he sends people Loom videos. That's what he was known for. I'm sure he probably has other ways of getting clients. But this guy right here teaches people how to get into a very specific job in cybersecurity that doesn't have enough people. It's called PCI compliance. I think it's also called like governance or something like that, governance and risk, something like that. But yeah, PCI compliance, and it's high ticket. Okay, so it's high ticket. It's obviously very niche. I mean, you've probably never even heard of PCI compliance unless you're in that field. So it's super niche. It's high ticket. He sells a high ticket program. And PCI compliance is a really good job. You can get paid like 150, 200, 250K per year. And there's a massive shortage, right? So extremely niche. Usually he's working with people that work in like IT or people from like slightly technical backgrounds, but they want to get into like a high level cybersecurity job. And he makes, believe it or not, he makes about 1.5 million per month. 1.5 million per month. Again, because he's the brain surgeon, guys. He is the brain surgeon. He's helping a very specific group of people accomplish a very specific task. So you guys see all these examples. Here's another example. This is one of my students. This is not as impressive, but he's not in the best niche ever. He basically helps people get like entry-level IT jobs. And one thing about all three of these guys that's different than the student, it's not the biggest differentiator, but all three of these guys are selling to people that have money, okay? So he's selling to people who already have good jobs, but they want to get a better job. Charlie Morgan is selling to people who are business owners and they want to make more money, right? And then Serge Yatari is also selling to people who have money. Now, this client right here, Josh, he's selling more to like entry-level people, so people who generally don't have money, they want to get into IT and like basic cybersecurity jobs. But he has 166K subs, and he's making about 185K per month. Last time I checked. So 185K per month. Maybe it's more now. Who knows? So he's crushing it. And again, it's very niche. And he is selling. I do believe he has some high ticket offers, and he also has some low ticket offers. So that's another reason why he's not making as much, because he has some high ticket and I think he has some low ticket. So he's got a little bit of both, but the low ticket makes a little more sense with his niche because his niche doesn't tend to have as much money. And so these are a bunch of examples, guys, of people who are crushing it, and they've got relatively small channels compared to someone like Boogie2988. But you might be saying, Shane, what about mass market channels that are educational? Because the only channel you went over was an entertainment channel that doesn't make money. What about the ones that are educational? Well, I actually did a massive study of this where I went and I watched income reports and podcasts of when people actually revealed how much money they make. And then I went back and I saw how many views they were getting around that time that the podcast was filmed per month. I tried to separate like shorts views from long form views. So these should be only long form views. And then I also looked at what they're selling and the total revenue they're making per month. And I came up with this very interesting stat, which was the total revenue per 1,000 views. So keep in mind, this was, at the time of them revealing their money. So like these stats are not necessarily accurate right now. This was at the time that they were revealing how much money they're making. And I also marked whether the person is selling a high ticket, low ticket, medium ticket, or affiliate product. And I also marked how many views they're getting per month and the content type, whether it was mass market, if it's designed to be kind of like a general practitioner where you help a lot of people a little bit, or if it was niche where you help a small amount of people, but you help them a lot, right? You dive deep on the subject. And you can see that people like Ali Abdaal, for instance, they're making about $400K per month. So he's doing pretty well, but he's only making about $45 per 1,000 views. And so he has to get 5 million views to make that $400K per month. And so with the product he's selling like a 3K, at the time it was a 3K medium ticket product that he didn't have to get people on the phone with. And he was obviously making very mass market content. That's why he appeals to a lot of people. And so Ali Abdaal, $400K, that's good money, but it's not what these guys are making. It's not, 1.5 million a month. It's not $1 million a month. It's not 600K a month. And he has a massive channel compared to those guys as well, right? So, it's just a little bit different, right? He's got a huge channel. He's got 3 million subscribers, whereas these guys, 30K, 147K, 161K, and, 166K, right? So that's the difference, guys. When you're not selling high ticket, when you're making that mass market content, even if you're doing educational content, you can still make money. Don't get me wrong. I mean, 400K a month is incredible. But how many 3 million subscriber educational channels are there out there? Not that many, right? There's not that many 3 million subscriber educational channels. This is very hard to achieve. Ali Abdaal is very, very good at YouTube, okay? Whereas these guys, no offense, most of them are not that good at YouTube. Like Ali Abdaal, if it was like, let's say on a scale from 1 to 100, he's probably like a 99 out of 100. I mean, Mr. Beast would be 100 out of 100, but Ali Abdaal is probably like a 99 out of 100. Josh, maybe he's like, I don't know, 50 out of 100, something like that. Because he learned from me, right? Boogie, he's probably like 80 out of 100. He's entertainment content, so he's fairly good at YouTube. Boyd, he may be like, he never learned from me, so I'm going to give him maybe a 40 out of 100. Charlie, maybe he's like a 50 out of 100, somewhere around there. Serge, honestly, and no disrespect to Serge at all, I like him a lot, but his content is so basic. It's basically like Loom video. So he's probably like a 30 out of 100 skill level, okay? And so, yeah, like these guys are not that skilled, and yet they're making way more money than Ali Abdaal, who's like a 99 out of 100 at YouTube, right? And so the reason for that is because they're selling high ticket and they're doing niche content, whereas Ali Abdaal is selling medium ticket and he's doing mass market content. If he were to sell high ticket and if he were to switch to niche content, I can almost guarantee you he'd be making over $1 million a month. But that might not even be his thing. Maybe he cares more about, reaching more people or whatever. Money might not even be his goal, right? And so that's totally fine. If that's not his goal, that's totally fine. But you get my point. Same thing with Andre Gique, massive channel, 2 million subs at the time. He's making $28 per 1,000 views, $300K per month. He's doing affiliate and low ticket. views per month. He's getting like 8 million. You know how hard it is to get 8 million views per month? These guys, Serge Guitar is getting like 118. These guys are getting like 100K views per month. And they're making way more than a guy who's getting 8 million views per month. Right? It's just absolutely ridiculous. And so you guys can, pause this and take a video. Another one, you can pause it and take a photo. Another one is Hamza. He's a brilliant YouTuber as well. He was making, around this time, he was making about 200 to 300K per month. I think it was actually lower than 300K. And he was doing low ticket and membership type stuff. He keeps on changing his business model. He's changing in a lot of different things, but at the time he was doing low ticket membership stuff. And he was getting like 10 million views per month. And of course he was making mass market content. And of course he was making like $30 per 1,000 views. Now this is a heck of a lot better than someone like Boogie2988. Boogie2988 is probably making like $5 per 1,000 views, or maybe even less than that, right? So it's still a heck of a lot better than Boogie2988 because he is doing educational content. But still, mass market, selling low ticket, also selling to people who don't have money because he targets younger guys. And that's, of course, going to be what ends up happening. So what you guys want to do, if you want to make a ton of money, you want to solve painful problems, okay? And let me just kind of write these out, okay, with this beautiful green color. You want to make educational content, one, okay? Make educational content, make niche content, okay? It's a lot easier to get 100K views than 3 million views, even if it's a niche audience. Make niche content, okay? Try to sell to people who actually have money, okay? It's going to be really, really hard for you to monetize if they don't have money. You're going to have to get really, you're going to have to be really good at marketing and sales and everything like that. I know a girl, for instance, who was able to monetize with an international audience, but she had to sell super low ticket and she had to have a really complicated funnel in order to do it. And what you guys really want to do is try to sell high ticket. High ticket, guys, is without a doubt more profitable than low ticket, medium ticket, affiliate marketing. High ticket is the way to go, especially if you're selling to a niche audience and people who actually have money, okay? Because people who have money, by the way, they actually don't care about money. Believe it or not, people who have money don't care about money. What they care about is time and convenience. This is what people who have money care about. They care about time and convenience, and they will exchange their money in order to get more time and more convenience. And that's why it's so much better to sell to people who have money. Whereas people who don't have money, they care a lot about money, and it's hard to sell to them, okay? So people who do have money, they care about time and convenience. People who don't have money care about money, right? So try to sell to people who actually have money. And try to make educational content, niche content, people who have money, and high ticket, right? Okay, so another content example is this guy, Clients on Demand. He makes, I just wanted to give you guys a couple different examples. He actually has a podcast, and he doesn't even get that many views on his podcast. But at one point, he was making about 1 million per month. He was making about $1 million per month at one point. I think he might have even been doing a little more than that. But yeah, like $1 million per month. He was absolutely crushing it. I think he's kind of like semi-retired now, or they're just kind of coasting at this point. But he's absolutely crushing it, making like $1 million a month. He's doing this podcast quite often. Seth, good friend of mine, also a client. He basically, most of his content is him just interviewing people. This is his main content. We're actually trying to change that now. Some of these new videos are us changing it. For instance, this one and this one. But he's been doing this for years where he just interviews people that he helped get digital marketing jobs. Again, he is educational, right? So this is educational content. It is niche, I'd say. It's pretty niche. However, it is kind of low ticket. He's not necessarily selling to people who have money. Like a lot of people don't really have money. So there's a few things wrong with this niche, but you can still make it. Even if you don't have every single thing right, you can still make money, guys. Like I'm just saying that if you nail these 4 things, it's almost impossible to not make money, right? If you nail educational content, niche, money, and high ticket, and then one other thing, which I kind of talked about in other videos, but personal brand. Make sure you're actually showing your face and telling your story. Have a personal brand. That helps as well. But yeah, he's also making money. I'm not going to say how much because I think he wants to be private about that, but he's making really good money. And summary, guys, target a specific market and a wealthy audience, and all those things that I kind of just talked about already. I kind of jumped the gun and talked about that stuff already. But yeah, niche. You want it to be niche. You want it to solve real problems for real people that have real money. Okay, so that's the 3 R's. Like I said, you want people who actually have money. And then, yeah, that's the big thing. Basically, those 5 things that I mentioned: educational, niche, high ticket, educational, niche content, high ticket, target people that actually have money, and personal brand, PB. Make sure you have a personal brand. Tell your story. Inspire people with your story. People will know, like, and trust you much better. And if you do these 5 things, guys, like, you could literally be getting like 50 views per video and you're still making a full-time income. In fact, a guy that I know who's a friend of mine, and I do help him out from time to time, he does a podcast where he usually gets only like 50 to maybe 200 views per video. And he's still making somewhere around 500K per year. So, you know, like 40K per month. Not bad, right? Not bad. And he's only getting like, 50 to 200 views per video. So it's because he does all these things. He hits on all of these things. And even though he's barely getting any views, it doesn't matter. He's still hitting on all those things. So yeah, guys, this is how it's done. You hit those 5 things. It's almost impossible to not make money. Obviously follow the other things that I talk about on this channel, but you can literally just do it yourself. And if you'd like help doing it, I do have free training, which I'll put down in the description, and you can book a call with me to talk about me potentially working with you as well. So definitely check that out. Also check this video out right here, I think, because YouTube thinks that you want to watch it, and I'll see you next time.